Sooner Nation, welcome back to the Sooner Surge, and another one signed, sealed, and delivered. This time, one of the Edge men, Wyatt Gilmore, has signed on the dotted line, and he's going to be a member of 24K. And what a tremendous, tremendous get for Miguel Chavis in Oklahoma here. And this guy's your prototypical Edge, okay? 6'4", 245, 35-inch vertical, can explode off the line. He's just plays basketball, even great athlete, super excited. I think one of the most underrated guys in this whole 24K class, in my opinion.
He definitely is underrated, and his athletic ability, I would put it next to maybe anyone else in this class athletically. You mentioned basketball, Jay. He's also been on the track. He's thrown shot and disc, but then he ran like a something in the 11s on the 100. Okay, this guy is going to be someone who can get upfield. Obviously, has great footwork to be on the track and on the basketball floor. You can't have bad footwork. So he's got footwork. He's going to have all kinds of technique that's just going to be far and above some others already as he enters Norman. And then the size, he's 6'4", 240. He's put on 20 pounds, I think, in the last year because he was at a lot of the measurements and things was when he was at 220, and he's still able. Some of those numbers are still the same at 240, which means he hasn't lost quickness. Okay, he hasn't lost some of the things, even though he added weight. Super excited about Wyatt Gilmore.
Yeah, you mentioned his athletic ability. He also plays tight end for his high school, Rogers. I don't know if you guys remember seeing a video. I think it was from Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Of a massive play that's just like, wow. Like, that's one thing that Miguel Chavis has done so well is the entire Edgeman group. They're athletic specimens. Like, you look at Danny Okoye. He's punting for Noah. He literally plays, I think, like 10 positions. If you want to go by each individual position for them, Wyatt Gilmore's all over the field as well. Basketball, track. Virgin Kaiser's a PWO, but he's very athletic as well. Then you also had PJ last year. Like, this entire Edge group, outside backers, defensive end, position groups is getting filled up with a bunch of athletes, and that's what you need as you're going into the SEC.
Well, and the thing is, I've heard some people, with Miguel Chavis, well, how is he on developing players? Listen, this is really only his second true recruiting class full time. And so you have guys last year that are only their second year playing. Now you got these guys coming in. He's recruiting outstanding. And 6'4", 245, 35-inch vertical. The vertical in itself, you talk about explosiveness. To do a vertical, you got to be explosive off the ground. So he's going to be explosive off the ball and off the edge for sure. And I'm going to do a comparison. I hate to do comparisons. I really do. But Dan Cody for OU.
That's exactly right.
The size-wise, he's very, very similar to Dan Cody size-wise, height-wise and everything. And he's got a mean streak about him. Hunter, you mentioned the video. The video, he literally threw a guy into oblivion. Guy went on to another planet after he hit him. He just demolished him. I'm maybe more excited about him than a lot of the ones that are committed. I'm super excited about Wyatt Gilmore, big time.
Yeah. Well, Jay, Dan Cody's a good comparison. Dan Cody played some tight end too. Look, he is going to be an edge. He has in high school also slid into the interior. He's not going to do that in the SEC more than likely, but he is exactly the type of player you want on the edge going to the SEC. You talk about the explosion vertically, even up the field. But again, he's going to be a guy that easily is going to be batting balls down on the edge. And if he can improve on some things speed-wise up the field and get different moves with the development of Coach Chavis, there's no reason this guy can't be vying for all SEC guys. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to start from day one because we're not going to make those judgments. That edge room is going to be so competitive the next 2 to 4 years, and it's only going to make them all better. And look, edge guys, you can rotate in. You could play 2 plays, get a breather, 2 plays, get a breather. I think probably that's what they want to do with some of these guys on the edge. And then Wyatt Gilmore is someone that I expect to have a great career and possibly be on Sundays, guys, in a few years.
Yeah, if Wyatt Gilmore played in a lot of different states than Minnesota, he would be a composite
Yeah.
four-star.
Yeah.
Fact that Miguel Chavis went all the way out to Minnesota and landed him, that just shows how good of a recruiter he is. It's a massive get because he's underrated. I mean, that's plain and simple. He's underrated. He should be rated higher than he should be. I think it's like Rivals has him at a 4-star. So some places are starting to pick up, but he gets that knock because of where he plays high school football. That doesn't matter. Anyhow, you look at his athleticism and how they've started to use these edges at times. They're dropping them into pass coverage. I think
Yeah.
Wyatt Gilmore is going to shock some people when he does finally get onto the field. When you start dropping them into pass coverage because of just his pure athleticism, I think it's going to be a lot different result than what you've seen this past year with the Sooners when they're trying to drop their edges into pass coverage at times.
Well, and that's right. That's 100% correct, Hunter. And it's different when a guy 6'4" is dropping the coverage, but is actually really athletic. It's a different animal. And wingspan, he's got all of it. I mean, all that stuff. And he's got good intangibles too. I mean, his characteristics, everything's great in that aspect. And it's another guy that Miguel Chavis, nobody, no OU fan can say anything about Miguel Chavis as far as recruiting. The guy's getting a ton of good players, and not just one or two. Like, the depth of that room is, like, you go all the way back to when he first came here in R. Mason Thomas. He picked him on last minute, really when he came in, and that might have been his first guy he got, I think. But with PJ and then the guys this year, just outstanding job. Miguel Chavis, defensive crew, Brent Venables, and just the ceiling's really high for Wyatt Gilmore, I think.
Yeah, and I agree with Hunter on the dropping back in coverage. It's something that Venables does often.
Yeah.
And I promise you, when these guys drop in coverage, usually it's a zone type of coverage. So the quarterback has to throw the ball over the top of that end. Okay. It's always over the top. Well, we've seen other guys who have been somewhat in position. I can think of Trace Ford as one, and wasn't able to get his fingertips on the ball, and it's a completion. Wyatt Gilmore is going to get his hands on the ball. For one, he's a lot taller, and he's got a great vertical. It is going to be difficult to lob over the top of him. And to me, that's what excites me a lot. And then just to be able to pressure up the field and get some sacks. So, yeah, kudos again. Wyatt Gilmore, signed, sealed, delivered, going to be a Sooner. If you're not part of what's happening on the Sooner Surge, please subscribe as we continue to drop these signing videos out there. Appreciate it. Wyatt Gilmore is a Sooner. Till next time, Boomer.
Sooner.